In this video, I'm going to show you how I build a small solar system with two 12-volt, 320 amp hour Humsienk battery. I will be connecting those two batteries in series to get 24 volt because I am using a 24 volt inverter for this system. Putting those two batteries together will have a total capacity of 8.19 kilowatt hour. Some key features of this battery are overcharge and discharge protection, overcurrent protection, overload protection, overvoltage protection, overheat protection, as well as low temperature protection. This is the inverter I'll be using. It's a 24 volt inverter and it have a max output of 3600 watt. If you have planned to do a setup like this with a 24 volt inverter, it would be best to just get a 24 volt batteries so you don't have to wire them in series. If you're on the market for batteries, consider using my link to get 5% off. They got 12, 24, as well as 48 volt battery. Because I am using 12 volt batteries, I have to wire them in series to make 24 volt. I use 2-gauge wire to connect one positive terminal of one battery to the negative terminal of the other battery. Once that was done, I installed the inverter with two fasteners at the top. Now I have to remove the bottom cover so I can install the rest of the wiring. I have to remove the screw on both sides and two at the bottom. I pre-installed the battery wires, positive on the left and negative on the right. You can always refer to the bottom of the inverter where it labels which wires go where. For my battery wire, I am using an Anderson connector because I plan to use the same wire for multiple projects. It gives me the option to quickly disconnect the inverter from the battery. On the other side of the Anderson connector, I have a DC breaker because those batteries do not have a way to turn them on or off. The DC breaker will connect on the positive side of the first battery and the negative wire will connect on the second battery. Now I'm connecting the positive wire coming from the DC breaker. I repeat the same process for the negative wire connecting to the second battery. Next, I connect the Anderson connector, making sure the DC breaker was on the off position. Now I'm going to work on the AC output. This inverter have two different places where you can connect wire for the AC output. The first one labeled main output and it also have a secondary output. I'll be using two outlets connecting each to one of the output. The ground wire coming from the outlet are connected together into a ring terminal. Those will be primary, those will be secondary. Connecting wire to the outlet, this is the gold side, the screw or gold. You connect your hot or black wire to this side. On this side, they are silver. This is where you connect your neutral or white. The bottom is the ground. This is where you connect your ground wires. The same process is repeated for the secondary outlet. Next, I connect the primary outlet to the primary output, connecting the hot to the left and neutral to the right. And I repeat the same step for the secondary output, hot on the left and neutral on the right. Next, I connected the ground wire to the bottom of the inverter using the provided screw. Now I'm going to connect the PV wire with MC4 connector at the end to be able to connect and disconnect the unit from solar. Just like the battery wires, positive on the left and negative on the right. Now that everything is done, I went back and double checked everything, making sure I did not make any mistake. After checking the battery wires, I move on to the AC wire. And finally, I checked the PV wire and everything looks like it was ready to turn on. First, I switch on the DC breaker, then I turn on the inverter. It looks like it takes around 30 seconds from the moment you switch the unit on to output AC power. There was very little daylight left during this test. After connecting the two solar panels using the MC4 connector, it looks like around 80 watt was coming in. This inverter have a light indicator that lets you know what's going on. When there's PV input, it is purple. When it was running on battery, it was red. Now I'm going to test if the inverter and batteries can run both space heater for at least 20 minutes. I am also using those watt meter to see what the space heater are consuming. I am going to start by turning on the first space heater. Upon turning it on, it is pulling around 1600 watt. It looks like the amount of power it initially pulled is slowly decreasing. Now let's turn on the second space heater to see if the inverter can run both of them simultaneously. Both of them are consuming above 2.9 kilowatt. Let's take a look at the watt meter for individual reading. The first one is consuming around 1400 watt and the second one is consuming around 1500 watt. I am going to let it run for 20 minutes. I think the inverter and batteries can handle that. After the 20-minute mark, I will add a third space heater to see how it performs. Now I'm just taking some temperature reading at the beginning of the test to compare once I add the third space heater. Most of the temperature I saw was between 71 and 73 degrees Fahrenheit. It's been 20 minutes and both space heaters are pulling 2.85 kilowatt. So far, this inverter is performing pretty good. I did not expect it to survive this test. Now it's time to introduce the third space heater. I'm going to start with low. The button on the left is the low setting. I'm going to start with that. The inverter is showing an output of 3.52 kilowatt, which is really close to the 3.6 kilowatt output. If I put it to the medium setting, it will go to overload. If I put it to the highest setting, it will obviously go to overload again. So let's leave it to the lowest setting. It looks like this inverter can run 2.5 space heaters simultaneously, but the fan kick on pretty loud. During this test, I did run both space heaters at full speed simultaneously for 20 minutes. After that, I add a third space heater at low speed for another 10 minutes. And the battery terminal temperature went up from the beginning of the test, but it wasn't anything that would cause a fire for the duration of the test. Overall, both the batteries and the inverter performed really well during this test. This is a 3600 watt inverter and it was running close to the maximum output for at least 10 minutes at the end of the test. I think the system would be perfect in a boat, in a mobile unit or small cabin. It would also be ideal in an emergency. And if you are planning to use a system like this every day to run your fridge, TV, internet, and other small appliances, I think it is a perfect candidate. I will keep the system up for a while to perform some more testing. If you have something in mind you would like me to power using this setup, feel free to comment below and I will do my best to document the process and post it. If you're on the market for battery, consider using my link to get 5% off Humsienk batteries. I hope this video was informative. If you like this video, you might enjoy the recommended videos. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy. See you in the next video.